Got some more Marvel's cope to go over because it's a daily thing, because people can't just stop crying about that movie not doing good at the theaters. The excuses still keep coming, by the way. Here's an article from today. The Marvels performs low at box office reflects superhero fatigue. Superhero fatigue during a time when Spider-Man 2, the new PlayStation game, sold 2.5 million copies its first weekend. But yeah, superhero fatigue, sure. Definitely, people are sick of superheroes. Maybe they're just sick of bad movies. It's just throwing it out there. No one was really asking for the Marvels, especially when you have such a rich history of characters at Marvel. I mean, going all the way back to the golden age of comic books when they were timely comics. But no, let's get Kamala Khan and Carol Danvers and Monica Rambeau in a movie, because those are definitely the characters that people have been aching to see. Literally years of history behind Kamala Khan, but let's focus on her and not, I don't know, the Fantastic Four, which is going to be a disaster, by the way. Pedro Pascal. They had to go with their 30th choice for Reed Richards because nobody wants to play him. I wonder why nobody wants to play Reed Richards. Probably because he's the sidekick in his own movie. Reed Richards, leader of the Fantastic Four? I think not. Susan Storm is who's going to step up. Characters have been around from the 60s. Since the 60s, we need to change them around for a modern age. So the cope is real, and it's going to get worse. Here are some box office updates that are just absolutely hilarious. With 3 new options in town, audiences ran away from the Marvels, which finishes its first full week on THU, grossing just $1.2 million for Thursday at the U.S. box office. Okay, Thursday is kind of a big movie day. Kind of kicks off, really, the weekend box office. Here's where that movie is now here's where it stands now compared to other box office flops Thursdays. Birds of Prey, Dark Phoenix, Blue Beetle, and even Morbius. Number 2, lowest first Thursday for comic book movies in 2023, only above Shazam 2. I hear people like Shazam 2. That one's actually a victim, I think. I don't think it's an awful movie, but that movie is definitely a victim of James Gunn's mouth, running around saying that, none of these movies matter. Right before they come out. So, I wonder how that would have fared in a different time. Lowest first Thursday ever for MCU versus Quantumania and The Incredible Hulk's 4.2 million, negative 7%. The Captain Marvel sequel hits a 54.8 million U.S. total. Embarrassing. 80% drop incoming. I think that might be true. I was going to say 75%, but you could see an 80% drop here, especially when you compare it to what's coming out. There's a couple of movies coming out. You still have to contend with Five Nights at Freddy's, and now these other movies. Thanksgiving is coming out. There's The Hunger Games, which is going to have a bad weekend itself, too, by the way. I think this Thanksgiving movie might surprise people, to be honest. It's definitely going to be fighting with the Marvels for third place. China, the savior of the Marvel Universe, they were definitely banking on this movie making money over there. That did not happen. This movie had a 92.6% drop. In China's box office, the MCU film The Marvels starts its second weekend getting crushed, dropping to 6th place after grossing just $300,000 on second Friday, over 49,000 screenings, 26K drop, dropping shocking 92.6% from previous Friday opening day for a 13.8 million total in 8 days. Just 78,000 in pre-sales for second Saturday, eyeing a 900,000 to 1.2 million second 3-day weekend for an astounding 89 through 93% drop. And I think you're going to see something similar over here in America. I saw somebody celebrating on Twitter saying, "Oh my God, the movie's up 30% on a Tuesday," which was like, because it sounds sexy in the comment. Do you look at the numbers and realize that's only like an extra couple $100,000? Won't even make a dent. Oh, so sad. And you had this guy returning. This guy had a big cope meltdown November 11th. Very upset that this movie didn't do well, was blaming misogyny, Islamophobia, racisms, right-wing grift, all that stuff. YouTubers made this movie fail for sure. Yep, absolutely. And then, they changed that narrative quite a bit. A big journalist here, big modern media journalist. A lot of people came in and decided to debate him and kind of dunk on him a little bit. He's not happy about it. He had a response to all of you grifter-loving incels. He has a big response, which totally doesn't sound like cope or crying. He's really giving it to you. So many sad grifter-loving incels showing up in the replies of everything I say to try and debate me about the Marvel's box office and quality. And fellas, I'm just not going to. Save your breath. You're boring. Type messages to your spouses and kids and disappoint them instead. Wow, he really owned everybody. Oh, your facts about why this movie sucks and the box office tanking? And, I'm just not going to debate you. I'm just going to insult you instead and then do a big, long cope thread. Like, this is like 10 tweets. Well, no, it's 5, but a whole legion of random guy type Fs showing up to feign ignorance and try to dunk on wokeness and women and then everything else, all because they lack reading comprehension and media literacy. You can give a literal bulleted list of talking points, and they'll still try. Tiresome. And what makes it even worse with these blue checks, conservative cultists and general bigots, is that they're totally unoriginal. 100 men with this kind of pronoun joke in their bios, and they all think they're liberated alpha. But they're just copy and paste clowns. They like to be like cope, shill. And it's like, sir, you have 40 followers and you don't even show your face. Please be serious. The adults are speaking. We type with proper grammar. We have jobs. We have lives. We can articulate our thoughts with actual effort. Move along. Yeah, you're doing a great job articulating your high IQ thoughts here. Very just well thought out here. It's amazing. Said this to someone yesterday. America's decades-long issues with looking down on empathy and thoroughness and intelligence no longer require the macro factors of American society. They just need some angry little morons who like YouTube reviews and can't get validation anywhere. Well, you've been trying to get validation on Twitter, explaining why this movie sucks. Is great. And you failed at it. All of your excuses for this movie can be easily countered. And now you literally are having a cope meltdown. And you're also mad that people are calling you a shill, but every post on your Twitter account is literally praising Hollywood garbage. I don't know what to tell you. And then Arthur J.A. Douglas comes in here and says, why didn't women show up? It was made for them, made by them, marketed to them. Don't put the blame on men who were told they weren't welcome. They acted accordingly. But the funny thing is that men did show up to this movie in droves. They were the primary audience. That's not the only problem that Marvel has. This was an interesting article from IndieWire. Does Marvel have a Gen Z problem? Just 19% of the Marvel's audience was 18 through 24. Just 19% of the Marvel's audience was 18 through 24. Compare that to 40% for Captain Marvel. So they're actually losing Gen Z now. They're losing them. It's the same problem with the source material, comic books. Like, young people don't read comic books anymore. It's mostly all older people. Like, you're not going to have anyone to pass these things on to now. And that really is the true death blow for a lot of these products, is young people don't care about them. Marvel's losing them with this kind of garbage. And it's not going to stop anytime soon. When you look at some of the announcements that Marvel has made after this movie's failure, like, nothing's going to change anytime soon for them. And it's going to continue to get worse and worse and worse unless they turn it around. And they still have time to turn it around. They have one more bad product coming out. Echo, totally expect that to be a complete pile of shit. And then they could kind of still reshoot things and turn this around. I think they can still turn it around, but they really need to focus on quality, and they really need to get these stories up to par with what they used to be. And I don't know, give people characters they actually want. Nobody was asking for a Kamala Khan show. Just a fact. Nobody was asking for that show. Nobody is asking for Young Avengers or A-Force or whatever they're going to call it. Nobody wants these things. Nobody was asking for Echo. Like, why? Nobody's asking for Agatha Harkness or whatever they're going to call that show, because they've changed the title 5 or 6 times. Stop making shit nobody wants. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Also, please share the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, like, comment, check out my Rumble and Locals, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my Locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my Locals.